I'm John Sluice. Today's video is a quick update on some of the videos that we're going to be releasing here soon, some answers to some common PPP loan forgiveness questions as it relates to timing, as well as just a general message about tax planning and why this year, perhaps more than ever, we should be discussing your specific tax strategy. We sat down with several local businesses to get their thoughts on how COVID impacted them, what they did to pivot in response, and what they're doing now to look forward into the coming months. Our goal of this is to provide everyone here a few insights that you may be able to take away, some ideas that you could implement, or perhaps simply to confirm what has already been done. We're also going to plan on sharing a series where we invited local attorney Courtney Danbrook with Danbrook, Adams, and Raymond to share some advice and insights regarding wills, trusts, and estate planning. We talked a few weeks back on how we are seeing several factors right now, all pointing towards now is the time to act. These include low tax rates, low interest rates, election uncertainty, COVID, and concerns all the way to changing demographics in the family. These follow-up videos are next in a series where we hope to take the Act Now call and move it from just a call to something that we can actually act on. We'll provide general overview to the whole tax and trust and will and estate topic, some tax implications regarding these structures, and most importantly, provide the concrete next steps for you to take, whether it's just simply to start the process with a better understanding or to utilize some advanced trust strategies. A common question that we're receiving right now pertains to the PPP loan forgiveness process or the Payroll Protection Program. You may have received emails from your banker, or maybe you're just wondering what's next and they want it off your books. There are several bills that have been introduced into Congress that would have a significant impact on the forgiveness process for an estimated 85% of the actual PPP applicants. Latest indications are that there continues to be bipartisan support for providing essentially an automatic forgiveness for any PPP loan less than $150,000 with just a few borrower certifications. Certain bills being considered also include provisions that would allow for a simplified forgiveness process for loans between $150,000 and $2 million. While it appears that most of Congress and the Treasury even agree that the provisions should be included that would ease this process, there are many other aspects of the latest stimulus bills that continue to be heavily debated. We remain hopeful that the action will be taken on some form of legislation that would ease the PPP forgiveness prior to the elections in November. As additional updates become available, we'll be sure to let everyone know, but as of right now, it's still uncertain. It is our general advice that it is better to wait, given the potential easing that the forgiveness process may be seen, and given the political ramifications I just mentioned. Now, there are also significant tax implications on when the forgiveness actually is obtained, whether it's in 2020 or 2021. We are still seeing some mixed guidance on how the actual loan deductibility of expenditures will play out. As a backdrop there, remember that the debt forgiveness income was legislated to not be taxable. However, the IRS did a double take and came out and said that, well, since the income isn't taxable, the expenses are not deductible, which is a fancy way of saying it's taxable. It's apparent that the legislation didn't intend on having it be taxable. However, that's the way it currently is. Now it is up for the details to come out on how this is practically going to be implemented and when. So let me walk through a few questions here that you may be asking. Well, what if the debt is forgiveness and the related expenses are both spent in 2020 before any guidance comes out? What do we do then? What if the expenses are incurred but the debt isn't forgiveness until 2021? But let's say you have to earmark the expenses as part of the 24-week period which incurred in 2020, but you're not seeing it until 2021. What if both of the expenses and the income comes in 2021? These questions highlight the significant complexity that is coming into tax planning this year, and this is also not a small impact. Businesses are considering whether they need to purchase equipment, give bonuses, or invest in cash outlays to defray this potential tax bill, and in doing so, knowing whether it will hit in 2020, 2021, or even at all is pretty significant. For right now, you need to hear that I don't have a great guidance on this, other than to acknowledge it's an issue, and that generally seems to be a pretty reoccurring theme for me this year. And hear me say it is significant tax implication. We are continually monitoring this, watching for any guidance that's coming out, and we will be updating you as soon as we possibly can. But for now, know that we should be talking on what and when in planning for this, on what you're going to do for your specific instance. I say all of this knowing that every banker out there also is wanting these loans off their books. They don't want a 1% loan, which is essentially not even a loan, on their books. So we get that you're probably and likely going to be having conflicting information, pushing you from the bankers, but not too much because they also don't have much guidance, and wanting you to do the application and then potentially delaying it from advice from us. All of this said regarding the uncertainty surrounding the PPP forgiveness, coupled with everything that else is going on currently within the tax rates and where everyone anticipates them going up, favorable interest rates, and other opportunities, we continue to provide tax planning considerations and topics within these videos in the coming weeks. But don't just wait for the videos. Consider this as an appeal to you from your tax advisor that if you haven't reached out, or if we haven't reached out about planning on how the 2020 tax year is going to play out, you need to do so. We've already begun to reach out to many of you, and that's assuming we haven't even been in discussion throughout the year. But even if we haven't called, please call or email or text so we can take advantage of the many tax opportunities that we are currently seeing available and maybe giving some guidance on some of the uncertainty that I just mentioned. Thank you for your continued trust you place in us, and we look forward to talking to you soon.